Hello everyone, welcome to today's Novedge webinar, CYPEFIRE Your complete fire safety solution. Join this webinar to get a detailed look at CYPEFIRE, specifically regarding design of fire safety installations, both passive and active protection, design of hydraulic fire extinguishing installation, and so much more. Today's webinar presenter, Alejandro Jorquera, graduated in mechanical engineering and specialized in the design of fire protection. Is a lover of indoor football and the NBA. Cool. That's good to know, and enjoys spending his free time with close friends and family, don't we all? And now let me tell you a little bit about Novedge. Novedge is changing the way designers purchase 3D software, offering more choices, more freedom, best advice, and faster solutions. Check us out at novedge.com. And for today's attendees, and also to whoever's gonna see the webinar recording, we want to offer a SciPE free trial. They just came out with SciPE 2021, the latest version. And just because you're a friend of Novedge, you can email us at sales@novedge.com and request a free trial of 90 days of SciPE. It's such an amazing tool, and we want you to sink your teeth into it. So don't hesitate to ask us, sales@novedge.com, and we'll set you up. And now, without further ado, I'm going to share Alejandro's screen, and he'll take over and show you SciPE fire safety solution. Take it away, Alejandro. And
can you see my screen?
We can see your screen, and we're very excited.
Perfect. So thank you very much, Barbara. I'm Alejandro. I'm an engineer in the develop department in SciPE. I'm going to show you the workflow that SciPE offers to the fire protection design. To start this webinar and to make it clear for everyone, I would like to start presenting the Beam Server Center and the Beam Server Sync. This website, as you can see here, is the platform that where we are going to start all the projects, where we can find a lot of apps interesting, where we can make contact, and where we can solve projects, not only our projects, the project that every user share in the platform. To register is really simple, and you will only have to introduce the name, an email, and a password. And one time you review the mail we send to you, you will have access to all the things that I mentioned before, like to create new projects. Okay, that's our main project. And as you can see, sorry, I would like to show you a really interesting project. I misclick. Yeah. Here in the project, we are going to share the files, not only the IFC that we export to the platform, also the PDF, the plans, all the project. This is the main view of the project that we exported, because we can see, we don't need the app to see the project. We can see it here, 3D model and every installation that is made. And on the files section, we can see, it's slowly because there's a lot of info here, like in the lighting analysis, we can see the GLTF that are the 3D models, but we can see a PDF with the project and the calculus and the analysis made it. So we can check here all the checks that the code verify. Okay, and we can also add users to our contacts to make projects together. We have recommend projects to you, so you can help a lot of users solving your requesting part. Like if you are a fire protection engineer, you can add your solutions to a lot of projects, or lighting analysis, or structure analysis, or whatever you are solving here. Okay, this takes a while because we are looking for these projects that are interesting to you, not to everybody. And last, the store, where you can find a lot of applications interesting to you. I'm going to open it. I don't know. My internet doesn't working. Can you hear me, Barbara?
Yes, I can hear you perfectly.
Yeah, okay. So I don't know. I guess that it's some problems with the server. Don't worry.
Okay.
And for the last, the Beam Server Sync is the desktop applications that upload and download all the files to the platform. And as you can see here in my computer, is here where I have all the projects, and I select which one I want to maintain it, uploading and downloading all the files. So if every one user of the project uploads something, I will download, and maybe it has some info that are interesting to me. So once we have looked to the Beam server and the platform, I would like to go to the Beam server blog, where you have a lot of articles that are really interesting, a lot of for structure, for map, for architecture. And in this case, I will show you this graph that I believe that is going to help us in this presentation. Okay. So as you can see here, this is the workflow for the fire solution inside. To start the project, we need a BIM model, and this BIM model can be done with IFC Builder, that is our old modeler. We have just released some weeks ago CYPE Architecture, that is a new software for design the architectural model. And IFC Builder is an easy tool. It's a tool that allows us to make a really fast model. So I recommend you that if you are not so good modeling, you will check this app, because it's really easy to use and gives you the opportunity to export a BIM model really fast and really easy. And CYPE Architecture is our new tool that tries to make like Revit or ArchiCAD or a lot of modelers that can make so complex structures. Okay, you can use every modeler you want to, because we can use IFC Build that exports automatically to the BIM server. Or if you use Revit, we have a plugin to install on Revit, so automatically it's going to upload and download the files needed. Or if you use ArchiCAD, you can use IFC Uploader. Okay, that is another software we have to export the IFC to the BIM server platform. once we have achieved this step, the first one to have the architectural model, we are going to CYPEFIRE Design. Okay, CYPEFIRE Design is the main tool to the fire protection workflow, because from this software we are going to start the requirements for the fire safety. So as you can see here, a lot of arrows are coming from them. To let you know, like the fire resistance time needed in every zone, in every partition we made inside the building, is going to be exported to the IFC, and SciPeCAD is our application for the structural analysis. This app is going to receive this fire resistant time, and it's going to analyze the structure with this time for the fire structure. Okay, and there is a lot of arrows for lighting analyze, for HVAC installation, for the signals needed in the project, and of course for the SciFi pressure system, that is the software that analyze the pressure systems inside the stairs. SciPEFIRE hydraulic systems that is going to receive in which spaces are near this sprinkler installation, and SciFi FDS is the tool to simulate fire inside the building. And with the beam model, we are going to use the same model. We are not going to repeat the beam, the architectural model for every app. We are going to use it for SciFi Design and also for SciFi FDS. That is a really interesting to don't have to repeat every time the model. So to start, I'm going to open SciFi Design, and we are going to see in a cube view the main characteristics of this software, and we are going to see also all the parameters that we export to the beam model. Okay, so if you are not accustomed to work with Sci tools, this is the main view you are going to have in every app, where you can create a new file to look for files that you made before, and we have also examples to make it easy to start to work with every app. So you can take these models and try to work with them, so you are going familiar with the app. So first, we are going to get a new one, and I'm going to make this for this app, but for the next ones, we are not going to see these steps. Okay. Here I can see my user, and we can select the project that we want to start working. Okay. So in this project are going to tell me the project I have in the platform in Beam Server Center. So here I'm going to select easy one, so it's fast to start. And here we are going to download the Beam model into SciFi Design. As you can see, here is a restaurant, really simple, just 3 or 4 spaces. I don't remember. There are the floors that we have imported and the kind of spaces defined in the Beam model. So we are waiting. All has been correctly. And here it is. Okay. Okay. This is the working area. We are going to introduce here every evacuation path or every fire protection equipment. Raise the 3D view of the model. where we can redraw it to see new stuff. We are going to introduce the floor plans that we have so we can navigate, and the main toolbar where we have all the utilities, all the tools that the software has. This tool, it has just has the French and the Moroccan code, but you can create your own code, okay? Because if we are going to the configuration of the building, we are going to tell them the minimum access rows, the minimum manual spaces, the maximum allowable occupancy inside the building, and we can give here all the tests that the literature, that the code tell us, like the article that meets this criteria. Here in the zones, we can create zones to make the partitions and give the requirements for these zones, like the fire extinguisher needed inside this zone. So we are going to tell, like, if the surface of these zones is greater than 100 square meters, we are going to need this kind of fire extinguisher. We can tell this for the sprinklers, for hydrant, for fire hose reels. We can check in this zone if the surface is, it has to be minimum than this surface area, like 500 square meters. The same for the evacuation height. And here we can define the fire resistance time for this zone, like 60 minutes, 90 minutes, depending on the risk of this zone. We are going to have a greater time for the fire resistant time. So we don't have time to create the code, and there is a lot of apps to explain. So I'm going to open example so we can see. It's as simple as make it with the French code, if I don't remember well. And here you can see that we create the evacuation routes. It's really simple to create it. You can give the width and the number of people and the evacuation route. So we can see the number of people that use this evacuation route. We give here the fire extinguisher. We have in the tooltip, we can read the properties of this fire extinguisher. If we go to the zone, we are going to see that the evacuation area is the check, that this is only in the ground floor, so it's checked on the for the code from the French code in this case. Here we can tell that this zone is protected with the automatic fire extinguisher installation, the sprinkler system. So if we make this, if we check this property, once we export to the BIM model, we are going to create a requirement in BIM server, in the BIM server platform, and it's going to tell us, okay, here in SciFi Design, you design that you need a sprinkler installation. You only make this requirement to the project. So once it's on the platform, you will have to go to the SciFi hydraulic systems and design this sprinkler installation. In this first step is the main checks needed, like, okay, depending on your surface, depending on your risk, depending on your height, you will need a sprinkler installation, or not by the code, but you tell that you prefer to install these sprinkler systems because you believe that is needed. So it's going to tell you, okay, come to CYPEFIRE Your systems. I'm going to tell you where is designed to be the sprinkler system, and then you meet the whatever code you want to. So this is only for a sprinkler, but as you can see here, we make it with a lot of apps. The fire system time is going to be exported to CypCAD, to the structural analysis, but we have also going to export the evacuation routes and all the fire protection equipment to CyPELux. CyPELux is the software for the lighting analysis, and all the evacuation routes are all the fire protection equipment introduced in the building is going to be needed emergency lighting. So in this software, you will have to introduce this emergency lighting in every space needed, in every fire protection needed, and also you will have to take care in the evacuation route to make people go safely out of the building. In site HVAC.org, you will have the zones created, all the partitions created, because at the time you will design, in this case it's really simple, it's just one zone. So, but if you have more partitions inside the building, you will have to know where a fire resistant partition is different in every area. So if you put that or equipment that break this partition, you will have to take care and use a material that maintain this fire resistant time for the partition. And the last of them is OpenBeam S3F signs. That is where you are going to receive all the signals introduced. Not only the signals for the evacuation, like where is the exit, where there is the direction you will have to follow. You will also have signals for fire extinguisher, for fire hose reels, for the alarm button. And this is only for SciFi Design, but we have also accessibility app, and you can have a lot of info signals, forbidden signals, or whatever signals you want to. There is OpenBeam S3F signs. Of course, we are going to, in this building, there is no stairs, but if we have introduced stairs, like another zone of the building, but in vertical volume, we are going to export this stair if it's needed a smoke control. As you can see here, I can install a smoke control system, and if this smoke control system is inside a stair, we are going to send this info to SciFi process system. That is the next one I would like to show you. This tool meets the European code, as you can see here. I don't know if you're in Europe, it's really interesting for in every country, and every country meet it. I don't know, maybe in America you have another code, but maybe it could be interesting to have, because I believe that it's going to be really similar. Okay, here you can see a user guide. We have in English, and how to start to a project and to work with SciFi pressure system. I'm going to open the example so we can go in faster. It's the same way to start a project in every app, so you will only have to look for the project you want to link. So here we have an hotel. It's a really big building compared to the restaurant. And as you can see, in the middle, we have a stair with the lift and the, sorry, you can see here, the protected lobby, the lift, and the stair, okay, for in every floor. I'm moving, navigating in this, and you can see the difference, okay? This tool, is the main reason is to maintain a pressure inside the stair. So once a fire starts in some floor, the smoke doesn't go inside the stair, okay, difficulting the evacuation of the building. So this pressure, this positive pressure inside the stair makes that the smoke try to go to another place. Usually you will have to make some holes on the facade, and this smoke goes away. In the European code, we have different systems, and you will see here the different, this is a class D system, and there is the explanation, and I will have to, okay, like with all the doors closed, you have to maintain sorry you will have to maintain 50 pascals inside the stair, and there is different criteria for doors open, for the velocity, and the good way for this software is that you can generate all these cases for the pressure difference criteria and the airflow criteria. And I forgot to show you the project before, but in this case, once you have checked the different space, that the stairs, the lift, the protected lobby imported for the BIM model, you will have to review the kind of walls introduced. The different walls has different gaps, and the different gaps provokes different losses inside the stairs. So the airflow that we need to create this pressure is going to be lost. So you will have to review this for the walls, for the doors, and for the windows. And once we have made this review, we can check how many flow we need inside the stair or inside the protected lobby or inside the lift to maintain this positive pressure inside. So at the time we update the results, we can see in the project all the leaks from the different vias inside the stair or inside the protected lobby. Like we have all the losses here for the different criteria, and here we have the design results for the stair and the protected lobby. I forgot to show you here too. In this case, we have different list checks where we only meet the main checks. But here in the project, we will have also the info from the code for every check that we made. In this case, it's in French. Sorry, because I didn't prepare an English sample. But in this case, this is the article from the code, and there is the explanation that we need. That we need a fire extinguisher for every 300 square meters inside the zone. So once we have finished this installation or the SciFi Design, we can export to the B model that we have linked before, and the Beam server sync is going to belong to the platform. Sorry if I explain this a lot, but it's important because if we don't have this synchronizer open, our info is not going to be shared to the rest user of the project. As I told before, now we are going to go into this automatic fire extinguishing installation. Once we have introduced this check, all the spaces inside that are in this zone is going to be needed as sprinkler installation. So we will have to open SciFiFIRE Your systems. As SciFiFIRE Design, this is a tool, this is an application where you can create your own code, but here we have a lot of code done in the SciFiFIRE Design. Here you could see too a user manual where you can see the main tools for the app, and you have a link for the YouTube video where it's explained every section of the manual. I'm going to use an example. There is a really big one in this case, but we are trying to see a small one, like the hotel from SciFiFIRE pressure system. I want to remember SciFiFIRE Design has the French code and the Moroccan code, and you can create your own one. In SciFiFIRE pressure system, you will only have the European code, and you can change it. And here in SciFiFIRE Your systems, we have 3 codes. We have the NFPA 13 code, we have the European code, and we have the Singapore code. And also you can here read the NFPA 13, the European code, and the Singapore code. And once we have import all the risks, all the hazards for the NFPA 13, we can make changes, like we can change the minimum operating pressure, we can change the maximum operation area, or we can change the maximum distance between sprinklers for the standard sprinkler. Okay, because maybe there is something wrong, or there is some changes on the code that we don't know, or we have a last version where it's not solved, and we can create our own checks, like manually. We can create our own description, and here we will add our checks for, now it's empty, but we can create our article and description for this check and introduce the value for this maximum separation spacing parallel to the slope. Okay. Yeah, I believe that this is really interesting, that we can have not only the main code in the world, also we can create new ones and change it, because maybe in some places are restricted or changing some checks. Here there is a sprinkler installation from the hotel. It's the same hotel that we saw in SciFiFIRE pressure systems, and here there is installation, but for the rooms in the hotel and the parking and the ground floor. Okay, I believe that this is a really good software, that it has a lot of tools to help the users to introduce a sprinkler systems. We have a lot of tools to introduce different sprinkler systems, like cross main with brands and grid system really fast. Just introducing the part catalog and the kind of sprinkler we want to introduce, and completing the geometrical distance, we can create so fast a grid system. And as you can see here, we have to automatic generation for selecting spaces, and the software, depending of the geometrical, the distance that you selected and the pipes and the catalog that you introduce, we can create in a fast way installation inside this, and of course the rest of the building. We can introduce two firehose wheel, and we have the design scenario where we can define the area of operation for the sprinkler system, different pipes for horizontal or risers. In the fastening section, we have not only the hanger for maintain this pipe to the ceiling. We have these longitudinal, lateral, and four-way hanger that is really interesting in the west coast of in the west coast or America, because all the seismic problems that you have there, and we have all these checks. And I believe that I'm going to open another example. We have this where we have this kind of hangers, this kind of fastening. I'm just clicking and loading. Yes, in the restaurant, I believe. Yeah, here we have this lateral, longitudinal, and lateral seismic brace, and if we can see the checks, we can see a really interesting list where we can see the brace angle, the type of brace used, this is the lateral identification, and here we can see all the lengths for the pipe to this kind of seismic brace, and the total weight that has to support, and it's checked that all is perfect and correctly, and the distance between this kind of hanger is meeting, the pipe size is correctly, and the maximum load for the fastener and the brace are below the maximum. And if you have more info about this, how to introduce, we have a video in the manual and on YouTube for how to introduce this seismic brace in CYPEFIRE hydraulic system. Once we have introduced all the installation, we can go to the sprinkler inside the operation area, and we can see here, oh sorry, I'm going to change the, I believe Okay, now it's in English. Here we can see all the checks that we are meeting right now, but with all the article and the screenshot from the NFPA 13 code. You can see here which article we are taking from this minimum operating pressure. Okay, we are meeting 0.81, that is obviously more than the 0.5 bar that the code tells us. We have the minimum flow, we have the maximum operation area, we have these maximum and minimum distance from walls and between sprinklers. And once you can check every, I believe that this is an error because we didn't define in this case, so we can go here and there is the seismic coefficient. We can take this parameter from the spectral response acceleration parameter, and if I define it, now it's perfect. And here is the project that we made with, this is the hydraulic analyze with resin for all the things that we introduced, like the light hazard, the density, the area of operation. We have the flow test summary sheet where you see the point that meets these curves. And we have a list from the nodes and the pipes with all the properties that meet the friction factor, the flow for every pipe, the flow for every sprinkler, the pressure, and the loss coefficient for every pipe, and the seismic braces list. Once we have finished this sprinkler installation, we are going to export again, because for the last app for SciFi FDS, we will use the B model, the architectural model that we made it before, and we can simulate the sprinklers introduced. So for the last app for today, we are going to see SciFi FDS. This is a really interesting app that used the mist engine to make this fire simulation. I'm going to open this office project. Different between the apps that we have seen until this is that we have divided into two tabs. Okay, the first one is the beam model. In the beam model tab, we are going to receive all the info that we have in the beam project on the beam server platform. As you can see here, I have this is the mesh, and inside this mesh, this is where it's going to have the fire simulation. We have the building in the construction elements and opening the difference. And in this case, we have imported to a sprinkler, because in this project, someone introduced a sprinkler installation and exported to the B model. Okay, so we don't have to repeat. We don't have to do it again. We are going to import, and we will have to check. We will have to come to every construction element, and as you can see here, there is the different layers that define this floor slab. This is we will only have to define the thickness in this step. Okay, once we have defined the different construction element, the different opening, and for the sprinkler you don't have to make anything. We can see here the mass. This is the volume that it's going to take the simulation. Okay, inside this mesh is where it's going to be this analysis. We can export to the FDS model, And then we can go to the second tab. In this tab is where it's going to be complex for to introduce, to make this fire simulation, because we will need to know a little bit of the FDS. As before, there is a manual too that you can access from the main main view of the software at the beginning, or you can come here and open the CYPEFIRE FDS user manual, where is a lot of info for every tool, for every entity that has the engine from NIST. And I recommend you that you can learn a lot about FDS simulation. So take a look to this FDS manual. Here in the second tab, we can see the main properties for the environment, for the simulation time, how many times we want to run the simulation, the properties from the environment, the humidity, the temperature, the pressure, the noise from the wind, velocity, the gravity. We can change a lot in this case. Okay, I recommend you that if you are a beginner, the environment has a default properties that allow us to make a normal simulation, and simulation time. I recommend you to take a simulation time like 10-20 seconds, just to start to look how it looks to make a simulation. Okay. And here we can start. We will have to start to define the materials, surface for every layer that we have inside. We will have to define the fire. Okay, this is a complex, but it's a really, really, really interesting tool that can help us to understand. We have made a good analysis in the fire design, in the fire project, because we could see if the evacuation routes are going to have visibility for the user. Okay, we can create a slice and check at some point of the fire simulation if the user can't see anything, how many meters they can see through the smoke, or that we can check the temperature in every space inside the building. Okay, there is a lot of info that we can learn, and the firefighters can learn with this tool. And it's really interesting that this tool is one on the market that has the BIM model linked to the FDS model. If you work with SciPE, you can make a BIM model in IFC Builder and import it here and start to work just with your FDS properties, with your material properties, with your fire property. You don't have to repeat this because normal apps for FDS, you will have to introduce the building again. Here you can profit from the BIM model, and automatically it's going to be imported in the FDS, and you will have to introduce just the info that you need to start the project. Of course, we can't see, we can't simulate anything, but I believe that I can show you the SciFi FDS Viewer is the last of the apps, and it's an app that allows us to see simulations that we didn't make because someone has made a simulation in SciFi FDS and exported to the BIM model. So here we can go to sorry, 1 second, I didn't remember the, sorry, I don't remember the project where I upload this this simulation. So
I'm going to take this quick pause to ask everybody if you have any questions or comment. Feel free to type them in our question, you know, and then we'll take your question at the end.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't load. But it's interesting that you don't need to have CYPEFIRE FDS. You don't have to run the analyze, because if someone exported to the main model, you can use SciFi FDS Viewer to take a look at this simulation and learn from it. You don't have to, you don't need to know how to make the simulation if someone has made it before. So with this is a really quick way to present the Fire Suite in SciPE, and I recommend you to take a look to the platform, to the store, and as Barbara said, you will have a free trial to test every app that we have presented today and give us feedback to learn from you and to make better apps for the users.
Thank you, Alejandro.
So if someone has, thank you, Barbara.
Yeah, if you have questions, this is the time. And if you don't mind, Alejandro, while you know, people are getting ready to type their questions, I'll take the screen back a little bit, because I want to really, well, first of all, thank everybody for attending today's webinar. And also I want to show our website where people can find CYPE Fire solutions specifically, but we have a building solution, HVAC solution, etc. This product is new to the American market, so you might not be familiar with it. That's why we want to give you an exclusive chance to really get into CYPE and download it for free for 90 days. It is 3 months. Play with it. You will have all the apps available. And you can also get ready for our next webinar, which will happen around August 26th, and where we'll talk about the HVAC solution. And maybe you will have more questions then, and you can discuss with the CYPE technical experts. So in order to get a hold of the trial, you can just email sales@novedge.com and request for it, and we will contact you right away, and you will be able to play with it as soon as, you know, tomorrow. So yeah, Alejandro, I don't see any questions. I also want to remind you that I've been recording the session, and if you want to watch it again, it will be posted later today on our Novedge YouTube and Vimeo channel. Thanks, Alessandro, for this presentation, and thank everybody for joining us today. Get your free trial and have fun. Bye-bye, everybody.
Thank you very much, Barbara.
Have a great rest of the day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.